This summer is just flying by. We're already halfway through the summer session and working through lesson 5. I'm taking just a couple of minutes to walk you through some aspects to help give you a frame of reference of what we're going to be doing with, or what I expect for some of these assignments that you're going to be doing. You will be focusing on adding aspects of research to your toolbox of public speaking skills. We've covered delivery, we've covered structure and organization. Those things we'll continue to work with, but we're adding in new elements. And for this aspect, it's that research element. So to assist you, I ask that you read chapter 7, 8, and 15. And then for an additional learning tool, I've posted the PowerPoints for each chapter in here. And then to help give you a frame of reference for everything, I have posted the guidelines for the researched informative speech. So structure and organization along with method of delivery is going to be key here. We're adding in elements of research that include oral citations and specifically looking at the types of support that you use. So the last speech you delivered, I believe, was 95 points. This speech is going to be worth 130 because we're going to be adding in some elements in there. So take a look at those. You can just click on the gray box and read through the guidelines. And then I've also posted my evaluation sheet. It's going to look a little bit different than the previous one that you've done. It's more detailed. It gives you a criteria based upon the number set. So take a look at that. I've also posted an example researched informative speech. This particular example was done in a different class, but from a former student. It's a great example of a researched informative speech. So read through that. Or I'm sorry, listen through that. And then you're going to submit a topic that you would like to present your researched informative speech on. So you're going to decide what your topic will be to inform us on and type it up on a Word document. And on that same document, Word document, you're going to identify your general purpose. Spoiler alert. Everyone's general purpose should be the same, which is to inform. And then that specific purpose, which is the behavioral objective, so your goal for the audience. What do you want us walking away knowing after we hear your speech? And then I ask that you identify your central idea, which is also known as a thesis statement. I understand that this is a work in progress, so what you submit might not be set in stone, and I'm not going to require that it's set in stone. It's something that's flexible, but I want to see where you're attempting to go and then provide you with some support if I need to. And then identify how many main points you think you'll have. So anywhere between 2 to 5, just tell me if you're going to have 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then identify what order you think you'll put the points in. And all I want to know is, are you going to put it in chronological order, spatial order, topic order? Just pick one. Then you're going to save that to your computer or your USB device and then submit it to the Dropbox that's attached here below by the assigned due date, which is, I do believe, Sunday. Let me just take a look. Yep, Sunday by 11:59 p.m. For this speech, you will also be conducting an audience analysis. So you want to create your questions, and if you'll notice, the assessment value is 11 because I'm having you do some more things. So if we look at my guidelines here, all right. So your questionnaire should have 4 typed questions. 2 should be assessing the audience's knowledge, and 2 should be assessing the audience's attitude as it relates to your topic. If you want to add more, you're more than welcome to, but at minimum 4 questions required. Please provide directions. How do you want us to fill out the questionnaire? Do you want us to circle, highlight, be specific? And then make sure you ask a variety of questions. So we have the fixed alternative, the scale question, and an open-ended question. So at least one of each, and then it's 4 questions, so you can pick another one to use. It says make enough copies for your questionnaire for each of your classmates. You don't need to do that. You are going to be submitting to the Dropbox that's attached right here. So submit your audience analysis to this Dropbox, and then that'll be due on Saturday. And then replies, you need to respond to at least 4 other classmates' posts by Sunday. Here's the grading rubric, and if you look at the rubric, it's just a simple criterion met, criterion not met. And the things that I'm adding in there are that you have a name, title of your survey, course name, and number along in the upper right hand corner of the document, and that you've asked 2 questions that assess the audience's knowledge, 2 questions that assess the audience's interest, that you provided directions for each of the questionnaires, and that you used a variety. Because I'm asking you to do some research, one of the requirements for the speech, let me just pull that up here, is that you use a scholarly journal. And you want to get familiar with what a scholarly journal is, so that way you can use one. So it says you must cite 1 scholarly journal along with 1 book, magazine, or newspaper article and 1 website. So I'm giving you an opportunity to do a little investigating by listening to a PowerPoint that I created here.
Hello, scholars.
That's me. So I'm walking you through what a scholarly journal is and how to find them. So this will be an excellent resource for you. So make sure you watch that video. It's almost 5 minutes in length, so it's not too long. And then because this is research-based and your next speech will be research-based, I give you an opportunity to explore our online catalog at CVTC. So it's another video that's put together. It's a tutorial, and it walks you through library services. So take a couple minutes, read through that, and then I've got some more information here on evaluating what is credible in terms of using internet sources, because again, if we look at the guidelines, you're required 1 scholarly journal, 1 book, magazine, or newspaper article that can be electronic, and 1 website. So to help with that, I'm giving you this attachment on how to evaluate credible internet sources. So read through that. It'll set up the expectation of what I have for the sources that you use from the internet. And then I've put together an APA PowerPoint list. This isn't a recorded discussion, it's just a PowerPoint, so read through each of the slides as it shows you how to create an APA reference list. This PowerPoint will also assist you with an activity that I'm going to be having you do. An additional resource I've posted in here, because for all oral citations, you will be required to have a works cited page, and your works cited page must be in APA format. So I've given you a cheat sheet style guide here. So you can use this. So it gives you print sources, it gives you, let's see, gives you internet and electronic sources, and then if you're using any sort of email, personal communications, blogs, or computer, or not computer, but mediated sources such as films or DVDs. So that's a little cheat sheet for you there. And then I also have the link for OWL at Purdue, which is another website that will assist you in creating proper APA citations. Additional learning tool here is APA Convention, so read through that to make sure that you can double check your sources that you put together on your Works Cited page and make sure they're done correctly. So all of these resources will assist you with practicing writing APA references with this APA reference list activity. What I'm asking you to do is I am asking you to create a reference list based upon the reference information given to you. You must do this on a separate Word document and make certain that your APA reference lists are alphabetized, double-spaced, and that you use hanging indents. So please do not use this sheet when you're creating your Works Cited for this activity. You're going to take this information and you're going to create your own APA citation sheet for each of the resources listed. Okay, so for example, this is the first one, this book. So I'm just going to, let me show you what an example would look like. All right. So I'm going to use my cheat sheet here. And we're going to book. And I have all of these different choices, so I need to go back and look and see, okay, what is this? Well, this is just a book with an additional edition. So we are going to take this information, we're going to create a reference list. So we'll go here, here. I want the font to be the same as my outline, so whoops. There we go. So we're going to put the author first, and just the author's first initial, date of publication. Oops. There we go. And then what does it say we need next? It says that we need the title. So the title is Gramp, and it needs to be italicized. So, and then what comes next? Place of publication, publisher. Now it's a 5th edition, so we're going to need to put that in parentheses here. And then, oh, there are 2 authors. Look at that. I almost forgot. So I'm going to do the first author here, and then I'm going to have a period and then the and symbol. And then I'm going to go Johnson. And then only the first name is needed there. And then what did it say here I needed? It said I needed the publisher and the place, right? Place of publication and the publisher. So the place of publication, which is New York, and the publisher. So I have a colon there. The publisher is the Viking Press. All right, so there's my first citation. It only took up 1 line, so that's great. But you're going to go through, you're going to finish creating your citations, and then make sure you're going to go back and you're going to make sure that all of them are listed in alphabetical order, and that they're double spaced, and that you have hanging indents. And hanging indents where it says appropriate, every line after the first line should be indented. So that's that. Take your time on that. And if you have any questions, let me know. You're going to then save your reference list activity to your USB or to your computer, and then upload it to the Dropbox by Sunday. And then I put together a oral citation PowerPoint. Again, there isn't any discussion with it. It's just a PowerPoint full of information. Look through that because this will assist you in orally citing your sources. And I also created a guide to help you. So if you want to open that up and look at that, it walks you through what information should be there whenever you are directly quoting or paraphrasing information that does not belong to you. You will be creating oral citations for your researched informative speech because you are going to be using other people's published works as forms of support to help us visualize the main points that you're stating. So to help with that, I've created an oral citation worksheet. This is just a practice worksheet. So all you have to do is, this is very large, we'll make this a little smaller. Okay, so you're going to take this information here and you're going to create an oral citation for a direct quote and a paraphrase of the information in the spaces provided. Each oral citation should include the name of the author, credentials of the author, name of the article or source, type of source, and publication date. So you can just, in the gray box, you'll type your name. And then here, when you're directly quoting, you need to say something along the lines of, according to the article titled Moms Who Stay at Home with Kids Increasing, published by USA Today staff writer Greg Topo on April 9th, 2014. According to the article titled Moms Who Stay at Home with Kids Increasing, published by USA Today staff writer Greg Topo on April 9th. And then you'll just, because it's a paraphrase, you just will copy and paste. Well, you can't really copy and paste, you'll just type it in there. Nearly 3 in 10 All right. So again, you want this would be the author, and that's his credentials, and that's the source. And look, if you look at that, I forgot the source. So I could just post it here. According to the USA Today article titled Moms Who Stay at Home, blah, 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 blah. So this may seem like a lot because whenever we're structuring and organizing and creating for the first time, it will feel like a lot. But you want to practice articulating your oral citations and making sure that they have the name of the author, the credentials of the author, name of the article or source, type of source, and publication date. So that one's done for you. And then you can create a paraphrase, and that's where you're going to take this information and say it in your own words. And then you'll save it to your USB or your computer and submit to the Dropbox by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. And then the final aspect of this lesson is walking through supporting material. And you've been working with support. We're just now going to spend some time identifying the different types of support that we can use and that we have been using. So this is a really quick matching activity. So once you've read the corresponding chapters, you'll download this worksheet, and you can, because this is a worksheet, you can type right on it. And you are going to attempt to match the type of supporting material with the corresponding excerpt. Each type is used only once. So we've got testimony, examples, narrative, comparison, contrast, definition, vivid images, and analogies. So you're going to attempt to identify what type of support is being used here with these 8 different statements of information. Save that to your USB or your computer and then submit it to the Dropbox titled Supporting Material Activity by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. And then you'll complete Chapter 7, 8, and 15 quiz. This is 30 questions because we're dealing with 3 chapters. You should have 15 questions that are multiple choice, 15 questions that are true and false. You are allowed multiple attempts up until the due date or until you reach a 100, whatever comes first. So complete that, and then you are all done. This is just a reminder, a checklist if you will. Make sure you did all the things that you needed to do and submit what you needed to submit to the designated Dropbox and discussion board. And then congratulations, you've completed lesson 5. Because we're starting a new, what I'll call unit, you're going to have lots of questions, and questions are awesome. So please feel free to email, call, or stop by with those questions, and I'll do my best to provide you with as much information as I possibly can. Keep up the good work, scholars.